What you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb? Call that mental freeze when these people talk too much. Put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. What you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb?
Welcome to Texarkana Game Day. I'm Morgan Smith. Got my man Nick Reed to my right, Frank Sides to my left. Let's talk a little high school football.
Let's do it.
Braylon Stewart starts the game off with a 77-yard touchdown run. My man finished the game with 19 carries, 228 yards, with 2 touchdowns. That's good enough to earn the Offensive MVP award for Texarkana Game Day.
Oh, yeah, Braylon Stewart definitely had another breakout night as he has done so often this season, and definitely always going to be up in the MVP talk.
Yeah, man, the offensive line looked a lot better this last Friday, and you can tell Braylon definitely took advantage of it.
Yeah, on that play, you see the hole they created for him, and by the time the first defender got there, it was a safety, and he had no shot.
Braylon's breakaway speed is ridiculous. The 5-star University of Texas commit Derek Brown with the blocked PAT, returned all the way back by Marcel Beaver for 2 points. That puts the Texas High Tigers up 9-6.
And that's huge right there. A lot of people don't think a blocked PAT means a lot, but they block it there where the game was going to be tied 7-7, and they gave the Tigers a lot of momentum Friday night.
Oh, yeah. And that was a huge – it's hard to say a PAT is a momentum swing, but it definitely – you could see it. I mean, it just changed the momentum immediately. It was early in the game, but it was just big. Bryce McHenry takes the ball. He's going to roll out to his left. Looks like a design run play. Gets in easy. Man's having a huge year.
Oh, yeah, Bryson McHenry's definitely been surprising me with his athleticism. At the beginning of the year, I didn't know that he was as athletic as he's shown, even right there on that spin out, losing his footing but gaining back and scoring the touchdown.
Man, he's one of the best. He's underrated as far as just an athlete at quarterback.
Exactly.
Like, we all know how well he can pass the ball, but he's a dual-threat quarterback. Next one, Bryce McHenry is going to throw the ball to Cody Reese. I was really impressed with this catch. I was standing down there, and you can't see it from this angle. That ball literally came over the referee's shoulder. So he couldn't really see that ball until it hit his hands, and it hit him right around the knees. And to be able to catch that in stride says a lot about the pass, a lot about the receiver. It's good for 6. That's going to put Texas High up 23-13 at this point. Now, this catch right here by Blake Rogers, it was a great throw, put it right where it's supposed to be, but, man, he took a huge hit in the end zone. I wasn't in the end zone on this. I was on the sideline, and, man, it just sounded different. I mean, Blake Rogers took a huge hit. That's in the play. Yeah. Ian Cright with the heads-up play. The ball's going to go over the punter's head. He's there to fall on in the end zone. And at this point, it kind of puts the game away. Stretches it to 37-13. Shout out to Ian Cright on that.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Shout out to Texas High special teams in this game. That's the second time we've talked about them on this show, and they played a huge game.
This is going to be the 48-yard touchdown run by Braylon Stewart. He broke this big one off in the fourth quarter, and a man looks like he wasn't even running. Either they weren't trying to catch him. It was just anyway, that sealed the game right there. It ends up being 44-13. That's your final. Another win by Texas High, going undefeated into Hallsville, which should be, Coach Stanford's not going to say it, but I'll say it, should be an easy win. I've never heard Coach Stanford say anything's easy.
No head coach is probably going to say that, but Texas High should definitely come out on top.
Yep. Let's switch it over to Arkansas High versus Magnolia. First play is going to be a 36-yard touchdown run by Marjavion Cummings. And at this point, that's going to bring it into 4 points. It's going to be 14-10. Magnolia at that point.
Exactly. That was a huge run in the game right there, and you normally don't see a fella of his size be able to get out in the open field and run away from the defense, but he showed his speed.
I saw they have him listed around 225 pounds, and I see that little limp in his stride right there.
Oh, yeah, he's coming off an injury. I'm not sure if that's why he was limping or if that's just how he gets up and goes.
But, man, this next play, 75-yard touchdown pass from Leighton Lammers to Kaheem Webster. Check this out. Hey, this is a good film shot, Nick, on this too.
I appreciate it.
Look at this. Boom, just bouncing around. My man's there to get it, and he's going to take it to the house. Shout out to number 13 right here. Doesn't have to block. Smart enough not to get a flag called on him. Just gets in the way. That's all you got to do. That's going to bring it to 33-17.
Oh, yeah, Arkansas High, they went down early in this game, but I will give Coach Norton and his team some props. They didn't stop fighting the entire night. All
right, next one, 52-yard touchdown pass from Leighton Lammers to Ricky Williams. Check this out, Nick. I know you were in the end zone. That was the one you were saying ooh on.
Oh, yeah, that was a good shot right there. They actually threw it right to me on the sideline there.
And you didn't zoom out at all, I noticed. But you were at the game. Tell me a little bit about Arkansas High.
Well, Arkansas High, they definitely just got caught being young, I think, in this game against Magnolia. Magnolia came out in that wing T / triple option offense, and if you're not just being really, really gap sound, it's hard to defend. And they had 2 running backs that probably around 4'3", 4'4" guys, and they just ran the ball all night, and it was hard for Arkansas High to catch up.
Let's switch over to Liberty Ilo. There wasn't a stream for the Liberty Ilo game. Liberty Ilo won big, 54-17. What are they, 3-1 on the season?
3-1.
I like it. Man, the guys are playing great football. Coach Davis, they bought into what he's selling over there. And I was talking with Tracy Rebels over the weekend. That's kind of what he told me. He said, man, we're all bought in. And this is the season of turnaround and be looking for big things.
Most definitely. And we've got some Tracy Rebels to show everybody a little bit later.
Oh, yeah. Big hit on the sideline. Hey, he went and visited the University of Texas this weekend.
That'll be a good steal for those guys.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'd love to see him with the Longhorn helmet on.
Yeah, me too. I was there week 1. They were in Longview, Liberty Ilo, and it looks like, based on everything I'm seeing, they have improved dramatically week over week over week, and they're a pretty good football team. Going to be a handful right now.
I keep telling everybody like that Pine Tree, they're not supposed to win that game. Exactly. That's what people keep forgetting. Exactly. That Pine Tree game is not a game they're supposed to win. They're supposed to lose that game. And if you go look at what Pine Tree's been doing, Pine Tree beat Kilgore. That's a top 10 team in the state.
Pine Tree is playing really well.
Yeah, so and Pine Tree's a division, or Kilgore's a division up from Liberty Ilo, and you're sitting here like, that there's no shame in that loss.
Yeah.
I mean, to hold them to 25 points says more about LE than it does Pine Tree, in my opinion.
It was one of those things that it just snowballed. They were on equal footing athlete-wise with Pine Tree.
Yeah.
I can promise you that. It just got out of control, a couple mistakes, a couple turnovers, and then, you can't catch up after that. So.
Yeah. Playing teams their size, I mean, I can see them having a deep playoff run.
Oh, yeah. I can see the Leopards going at least 3-4 deep in the playoffs this year.
I mean, Jaden Hampton had 132 passing yards with 2 touchdowns. Ahmad Hicks, 83 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns. Michael Walker, 40 receiving yards with 2 touchdowns. I mean, they were chunking the ball all over the place. And on defense, I'm going to say this wrong, but Oren Gah, if I'm saying it right, 10 tackles, had an interception. Greg London with 9 tackles, 8 for loss.
Yeah, Greg London
8 tackles for loss. Are you kidding me? And 1 fumble recovery to go with it. And my man Michael Riley does what he does. He's going to have a solid game, a bunch of tackles, an interception, and a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, the Leopards are definitely looking good on the defensive side of the ball. And like you said, they threw that thing all around the field last week, so they're looking good on offense as well.
Yeah, let's switch it over to my Lobos. Frank, you were at the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but, I watched it. Great broadcast.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a big road test district game on a Thursday night. Just a lot of things working against a football team, especially a young football team. Longview came out, started out hot. We thought we were going to boat race them, as they say. Made a couple mistakes, let West Mesquite back in it, and then in the second half, Longview just absolutely exploded. A barrage of points and turnovers and sacks, and it was an awesome game.
They went up 14-0 real quick, and then it was 14-all. It went at halftime tied 21-21 or 28-28.
14-14.
14-14.
Yeah.
And then what was it at the beginning of the fourth quarter?
28-21 when the fourth quarter began. 56-28 when it was over. 12
That's
minutes
nuts.
later.
That got out of pocket quick.
It did. It was a
of
fun game.
And I know we're going to show it. Jalen Hale went absolutely off.
Yes, he did. Jalen Hale, 5 targets, caught 4 of them, 129 yards and 3 touchdowns from his 4 catches. So the second half, let's just throw the ball to your best player, and that's exactly what they did.
And man, Jordan Allen went absolutely off as well. Quarterback had a big night.
10 for 13, 228 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and ran 2 scores himself on top of that. So accounted for 5 touchdowns.
Tell me about Devin Isaac, one of my favorite Lobos.
8 tackles, interception, and blocked an extra point.
And there was Chase Walker had 2 interceptions?
Yes, he did. And then Jarrett Lewis, running back, senior.
Yeah.
In for Taylor Tatum the last few weeks. 21 carries, 195 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
When you go 21-195, and how many touchdowns?
3.
3. I don't know if you call that filling in. I don't know if we're going to call that feeling in for somebody.
hold on.
My man's getting carries the rest of the
The
year.
guy
So
spelling Jared Lewis, Isaiah Harris, had 13 carries for 96 yards himself.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
that
it.
Lobo offensive line was putting in work.
I can tell you right now, I've been to a lot of football games, and Thursday night was one of the most offensive, put-together football games I've ever seen in my life.
And that's kind of been the knock on Longview this year is like their offense just isn't explosive. And I think they may have put that to rest.
Yeah, I talked to Coach the day before the game, and I said, if the Friday morning headline says the Lobos won, tell me what happened. And he said, without blinking, we won the trenches. And I can say confidently that they did win the trenches.
Which was a war
You run the
because
ball for
West
300
Mesquite
yards. Yeah.
was not coming small on the D-line or O-line
No,
either.
no.
So they definitely did their job in the trenches.
Ended up being 56-28. I was kind of surprised that West Mesquite got 28 on Lobos. One of them was a defensive touchdown,
Yes,
though, right?
yes.
All right, but Longview defense is nasty.
And young.
Yeah. I mean, I see state championship runs for a while on there. We expect that every year out of Longview, but man, what are they starting? 7 sophomores? Something like that?
And to speak to those 28 points as well, West Mesquite's receiving core was no slouch at all.
Yeah.
They got some receivers that could go pretty much anywhere and play.
There were some 50-50 balls that went up, and when I say they were 50-50, they were probably 80-20, but anybody else would call them 50-50. Whoever those receivers are could ball.
Yeah.
When they went up, it was kind of like watching Jalen Hill.
Yeah,
Just,
Exactly.
just reversed.
It's a shame that we weren't doing a West Mesquite game day because somebody got one-handed with a moss in the corner of the end zone.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
while being pass interfered on.
Exactly.
You know,
While
but
having
one of the
one
best
arm
catches I've
grab,
ever
yeah.
I have that video, and I probably could have done something with it, but I'm like, no, we ain't West Mesquite game day. You know? But let's talk about the upcoming week. It's a big one. Longview's got Wiley East coming to town.
Yes, they do. The last home game, the calm before the storm. Next week we go on the road, number 3 versus number 4 in the state, Highland Park. Winner of that likely wins the district.
The winner of that will win the district. I don't even know if you say likely. They will win the district.
Yes.
Texas High is traveling to Hallsville, which they should have a field day with that. That should be a big-time stat game, even though
Now, will that be live streamed? We got that covered?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be live streamed.
Obviously, Longview will be covered at home.
Yep. PG's heading to Carthage, play the number 1 ranked team in the state. And what did Carthage beat Gilmer? 28-7?
Yeah, it was
like that.
something
Man.
like that. It wasn't as crazy as I thought it'd be.
Carthage defense. Last year they gave up 5 touchdowns total, and I think 3 of those were to Gilmer. And it's just nuts, like how good they are year in, year out. And I respect Pleasant Grove a lot for playing them year in, year out because Carthage can't get teams to play them. Like what do they have? They had like 2 back-to-back bye weeks because nobody will play them. And Coach Gibson's like, no, come on.
We'll play
Yeah, we'll play you. And they not only that, they played them on homecoming the last 2 years. You know, so man, shout out to them. This is Pleasant Grove has a really young team. It's gonna be a great learning experience for them. This schedule they're playing right now will pay dividends to these younger players.
That's what I was going to say next. Is the final score of these games is completely irrelevant. They're getting better. They don't count, right?
Yeah.
Until you get to district play. So, like you said, it will pay for itself down the road.
October 8th coming quick. I'm assuming Coach Gibson wants to be injury free or hopes to be injury free for that. Pittsburgh's coming to town, and that's when the second phase of the season starts. And he's always had 3 phases. It's he calls it preseason, district, and postseason. And that's what they prepare for, and that's what they're doing. You know, this schedule that they're playing right now is unbelievably difficult.
Most
you know,
definitely.
so and then of course losing your QB1 doesn't help. But the freshman that stepped in, he's actually doing a pretty good job. But you're talking about you got to play Paris, Argyle, about to go to Carthage, who has probably not even probably they have the best defense in the state in 4A Division II. I mean, hands down, they're beating 5A teams, which are 3 divisions up from them.
Pretty crazy.
It's nuts. Their defense is nasty.
Exactly. And it's a lot different when you're a freshman and you go through the summer workouts knowing you're going to come in and be the starter. But it's a lot different when you're a freshman and the guy that's starting is really good and he's going to play that season out, and then 6 plays in, now you're the guy.
He showed up for sure that night thinking he's about to watch some football.
Exactly.
Exactly. He might get some trash time. And that is not what happened. Exactly. He balled out, though.
He did. He stepped up to the call.
But, man, let's switch it to L.E. Van. All right, this is a game Ellie's had circled on their schedule. Van's ranked number 7 in the state. Ellie really, really wants this game, and I think it's going to say a lot about Ellie in general on this guy. I think they're really going to find out where they're at because Van can ball.
Oh yeah, if they can go in and take care of business in this game right here, I think it kind of solidifies like, okay, now they're on the turnaround. They're finally around that corner, and I like to see them do it.
I think it's going to be a really close game. If I had to guess, this game is going to be probably decided late fourth quarter. There is rain in the forecast. If this game is played with a ton of rain, it's got to be an advantage to LE.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They've got a lot of athletes they can get the ball to that they don't have to throw it to. So if the rain's a factor, LE definitely has an advantage.
Yeah, because I mean, it's hard to run it. I mean, if you look at some of these other stats, LE's not getting ran on. I mean, so and you've seen them play first game of the year against Pine Tree.
Get ran on then.
Yeah, and Pine Tree's putting up a ton of points.
So it was just quick slants and outs, and they weren't running the ball on.
I'm excited for them.
I'm excited. I'm happy.
Arkansas High travels to Camden Fairview. Where is Camden Fairview?
Camden,
Arkansas. Where's Camden, Arkansas? You don't know?
Up north somewhere.
You know anything about them?
I've seen them play one time, and I saw them play last year, and they had a couple of running backs that could really tote it. From what I've heard, their quarterback from last year has graduated, so they got a new guy at the helm. But Arkansas High is going to have to bring it up front. Johnny Murphy and company, they're going to have to bring it.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Norton will have them ready. In other games in the area, Maud has Nakona High School coming to town. Is that right? I got Maud on here twice for some reason. They're either playing Nakona or Collinsville. Let's just delete that out of there. New Boston at Gladewater. What has been the deal with Gladewater this year? Gladewater came out ranked number 3 in the state, and they are struggling, to say the least.
From what I've gathered, they're struggling at quarterback. Had an injury or two, and then finally got their guy back this week and went on the road and beat Tatum, a state-ranked team.
The 29-28, right? Mm-hmm. Awesome. We talked about Pleasant Grove playing at Carthage. Prairie Land's coming to play at DeKalb. Pewett's at Hooks, and Redwater's heading to Chisholm. Atlanta at Sabine. Sabine's having an up year. They're not the Sabine we remember when we were growing up. Queen City at New Diana.
New Diana.
Now let's switch it over. Let's go to the top 5 plays of the week. Let's get into our top 5 plays of the week, presented by State Bank and Texarkana Emergency Center at number 5.
We got Marjavian Cummings, the big fella, coming out of the backfield, breaking a tackle and rumbling, stumbling, bumbling to a 35-yard touchdown.
Man turned on the Jets.
Yes, sir. You got to love for the big fellas.
Nice. Let's go to number 4. My man Tracy Revels absolutely destroys his kid. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but he did. He gave him the business on that one.
Exactly.
Tracy Revels, oh man, out here killing these kids. Man, he had a great trip to University of Texas this weekend too. Shout out to my man. Big win for Liberty Allo. Let's go to number 3. My man Braylon Stewart breaks a 77-yard touchdown run, and there's so much time in this run. I'm going to go ahead and tell you he had 19 carries, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns. Our offensive MVP, Braylon Stewart. Shout out. Let's go to number 2. Oh, this is one of my favorite plays right here. My man Kaheem Webster. Well, check this out. I think 4 players touched it before he caught it. Let's see. I might be 1, 2, 3. Oh, he was the 3rd player. Let's go. Point is, he takes it to the house. Number 2 player of the week. Shout out to my man, Kaheem Webster. Let's go. Number 1. Presented by Kelly Ashbrook State Farm. My man Tyreek Robinson, watch the pick. Goes up. He said he couldn't just catch it right off the bat. He had to add some style points, baby.
Oh, yeah, one hand for style.
Let's go. Hey, the guy even got another angle of it. Let's see the behind angle. Look at this. Look at the vision on that, Nick. You couldn't do that. You were a D lineman.
Great read, great hits by Tyreek right there.
Shout out Tyreek, man. Proud of you. Texas High wins big. And that is our top 5 plays of the week. One of my favorite things to do, let's announce our offense and defensive MVPs of the week. First, one to my man Braylon Stewart. I think this is his 4th MVP award for Texarkana Game Day over the last couple of years. One of my favorite players, great running back, finished his game, 19 carries, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he surprised me every week that I've ever watched him play. I don't get to do many Texas high games, but when I do, he shows up.
I'm not surprised because I expect it. Let's switch over to our defensive MVP, Greg London. Check out these stats: 9 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and a fumble recovery.
That's crazy.
Did you ever do that?
Nothing that crazy. Not 8 tackles for loss, and I played on the D-line.
shout out to my man Greg London. Man, tune in next week, and we should line out. Appreciate you watching Texarkana Game Day.
What you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb? Call that mental freeze when these people talk too much. Put that shit in slow motion.